Good morning, guys. Early morning here in Denmark. The family's out, so I decided to make a video. This time on the Danish stock market. I'm from Denmark, so automatically I look at the Danish stock market as well. This will be a longer term view, the weekly, and we will see if there is any good buying opportunities in the future. Some of them might be a year out, but anyways, I have my levels in, so when they get there, I'll automatically look to buy it at that point if it still has my interest. So let's look into it. I hope to make this video below 15 minutes, so hopefully you can stay here for the entire duration. And yeah, as always, leave comments below, follow me, subscribe, Twitter and YouTube, highly appreciate it. So yeah, without any further ado, let's see what's going on. This is the Danish stock market, OMXC30. So this contains the 20 most, the biggest companies in Denmark, which I have right here. Overall view for me right now is we have touched this massive uptrend here like a month or two ago, and I think I'm bearish right now. I think if we were to get the best entries is when we visit this lower trend line again here. So that will also reflect what I'm looking at when we get to the stocks, is that I'm looking for very good entries that is actually way lower than we are right now to get a perfect, not a perfect, but a very good risk reward longer term for a long-term hold. Okay, so let's look at it. This is Ambu, which is, they make medical devices for, the medical industry. Again, long-term trend line coming up here. We have 4 bounces for the past 20 years. And now we are sitting right here. Basically, we have the horizontal and we have this one coming up from below. So we had a big down move here, which went down roughly 80%. And then we have a weak rolling over bounce here. So there could be some arguments to buy here at around 80 and hopefully wait for a bounce, or just simply wait to confirm that we get above the 124 again before it resumes. My fear is that this looks weak, this move here. So until proven otherwise, I'm not going to look into this one. I'm not going to buy any bounces here because I think there's a big chance that it will break through to the downside. But still, we have to wait and see how it goes. Also, this week we are below the 30 weekly, and yeah, there's nothing in the short term. Maybe in the longer term there will be some. Bavarian Nordic is a medical company, researches in vaccines and so on. Messy chart, but still it is here. We have the upper level here between 330 to 400. You can see the peaks above the icebergs here. Every time we have went to that level, we drop down big time. And here we have a gap, as you can see. We had a gap down here a week or two ago, which was some sort of a third stage trial. They stopped it or something like that. They didn't pass. But to keep it simple for Bavarian Nordic, I'm only interested in Bavarian Nordic when and if we get down to this trend line here, coming back 20 years. So when we get a touch here, which is probably within a year or two, that's a big buying opportunity getting down here, and should be a long-term hold if you can get it here. So quite simply wait for the touch here. Remember, I have it on log scale. Long-term charts need log scale in my view. So yeah, that's how that setup is made in my view. Carlsberg is a beverage company in Denmark, making beers for the most time. And we have the horizontal supports coming across here for like 15 years. We had the March 2020, which also bounced heavily. And then we had 2 touches here and here, which actually came from the 2008 lows all the way up here. And we have it right here coming across here. So this was a great buy at around 800. But that's not what we're looking at. What I want to do is simply, if we can get it down again to the white resistances here, or supports down here. I know we have some support here and here, but still, in my view, for a long-term play, of course you can trade it on the shorter term, but long-term, I think with the bias that we have of the overall market for the Danish ETF, I think buying it down here makes perfect sense long-term. Good risk reward at around 600, 650. Again, this will be like 2 or 3 years out, but still have patience. And if it gets there, nothing's certain, right? It can, of course, go way higher right here. But my take is wait for the touch here, and then you can grind it for a long time. CRH Hansen Holding. I think that it's shipping. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't matter. But still, what I'm looking at is basically, I think, what's in the making. It's a weird chart, to be honest. But I think what's in the making is a 3 impulse low, and I think we are waiting for the next one, which should be around here somewhere. That's my take, anyways. So if we get that, again, if I'm not saying that it is, but that's my view. If we get the third touch of this orange trend line here, that's when you could look into buying this stuff, again, in my view. We do have some support here, the bear flag low, the the 2022 lows here, but still, I think it looks incomplete to bounce here and go up again. I think we need a third lower low to completely wipe out any bulls. So yeah, that's my take on this one. Wait for the touch here. If it gets there in like a year or two, then you can see if that's if that trade or that investment is still up to you. Coloplast is a big plastic company, makes all sort of stuff in that sector. My take is that right now we are in a bear flag. There it is. We had a fake out of the dump combing. Let me zoom in here. Of this trend line here, we had a fake out, and now I hopefully think that this bear flag breaks, and my buying level would be the upper trend line here in this bull flag. This was a bull flag before, and this is where I would like to buy if we get down there at around 615. So like a 200 Danish kroner drop for now, which is roughly 25%. You can see it again here. We had the bounce, boom. So we had the breakout bounce. And if we get here again, this should act as very good support. And we are down 50% from the highs. Makes sense. Every time you have a quality stock that is down 50% from the highs, that's usually a good buy, nonetheless, usually. William Demand, I can't remember exactly what they make, but still they're making hearing aid equipment in Denmark. Quite simple setup in my view. We had broken the trend line here. We have the 1, 2, 3 lows, breakout into a bull flag, and we have the 30 weekly coming up here. So this is actually, compared to the others, a very strong setup. And I would assume you can buy the touch of the 30 weekly with a stop below, or the breakout. So this is a different play. This is more short term. It has more upside. Long term is a different view, but for now, this is actually quite strong looking chart in this bull flag here. Targets you can measure yourself, from the lows to the top, you have the pole, and then you can extrapolate that further out. But still, this looks very strong, to be honest. Danske Bank, the Danish bank, is also in a quite nice uptrend in the short term. I would say you have the stage 4 decline into the stage 1 basing, and now we broke out here again into the stage 2. So we are above the we are above the 30 weekly nicely. So long term here, I mean, to me, buying up here doesn't make any sense long term. This is purely for trading purposes. You are into resistance here. You can see it there. You have the pivot low, again, the touch, the breakdown, and you have the rejection, and you are still here again. Again, long term, my view is that if you want to play the Danish bank, you should buy the touch here at some point out in the very distant future. Buy this touch here if we get there. But again, not the greatest setup here, but still short term, Danske Bank, Danish bank looks quite decent. Again, if we start to break down here, especially getting below the 30 weekly, then again, we were rejected at this 162 level, and then we are going down again quite easily. So that's Danish bank. Long term, DSV is a shipping company, if I remember correctly, and quite simple. It is very simple, this trade here. You buy the touch of this lower golden trend line, which is around here somewhere. So whenever we get here, I don't know when, that's when you want to be buying this stock if you are interested. Again, this is for long-term holds. So yeah, and also we have this internal here, which we got rejected at again. You can see, We got rejected all the way down here. You can see it every single time. It's a big internal support and resistance trend line. And again, you could argue that we are in a bearish squeeze here, and now we're breaking down again. So I would expect, my thesis is that when and if we get down here at around 700, give or take, that's when you should be buying. Again, the top is 1700 and you get down to 700. That's even more than a 50% drop, right? That's a 60% drop plus. Quality stock, so that's a great entry. Long-term hold. Looks good. We have FL Smith, that's a transporting company. And again, I want to show you, we have this upper rail here, which acts as resistance every time we got there. And again, we are here again, getting some sort of rejection. We haven't rolled over because the 30 weekly is still coming up, so it's still in the bull trend. But to me, there's no buy here at all. Only if we get some good weekly closes above this rail here, then we have a short-term move for sure. But still, long-term, if you want to play it, in my view, there are some very low levels here. I don't think it will get there because it has been hammered so much to the downside. And I think if we can stay up here in this range and not break down, I think that's actually when we break through. So quite different. This looks better than most in my view, but still it has to prove itself. Again, to stay up here and then break out and do some retesting and prove that this long-term resistance is actually now support. But buying here, in my view, right now doesn't make any clear sense at all. You have, never mind, I will not go into that, but still, that's how I see that one. GNMD, major Danish medical company. This is the setup that I'm looking at. It could go either way, in my view. If you get below here, I wouldn't be buying the touch here again. At least then you need some stops right below, right? And you hope for the bounce here, and then you break out of this trend line. But still, GNMD really needs to get going here, otherwise it breaks down. And then there are some levels you can buy. Obviously, you can buy the lows here, the March 2020 lows, which is, that's this one, excuse me. You can buy the lows here at 1800, 1900 roughly for a bounce, or yeah, still, it needs to bounce big time here at around 2400 roughly, and then get above this golden trend line here for a higher move. So it can go either way, and we have to wait and see for August. I think maybe August, September will prove what happens here. But this weekly candle wasn't good. It was down. It's a 10% down day, a down weekly candle. So yeah, that's how that should be played. GN, I don't remember. I don't know what they make. Doesn't matter. What I'm looking at right now here is we have a big long-term downtrend here, right? 80% move down, and now we're trying to see some sort of bottom. It's trying to bottom out, and basically what you want to do, at least that's how I look at it, is you want to have a break above the 200. You can see the 200 here. You have a breakout here, retest, and then you should see how it acts. But again, it's a quality stock. It's down 80%, so it's not the worst place to be buying in my view. But still, that's a big move. Obviously, everything can go lower, but for now we are above the 30 weekly. Looks nice. Wait for the breakout here. Again, if we break down to the downside, then we have a lot more downside to come. So yeah, just sit and wait here and get a breakout, and then you can have a stage 2 incline here if we get the confirmation. ISS, which is a service cleaning company in Denmark, quite big. What I'm looking at is we have the downtrend line here. We have broken out, as you can see, and we came into resistance here at these levels at around 162. Retest, and now we are hopefully resuming again to the upside. So this is quite similar to just the one we looked at before. We need to wait for the breakout above here and stay there for some weeks, depending on how long you want to take it, but you can buy the retest. Obviously, breaking down, that would not be a good scenario. Then you have a different case. But to me, for the bulls, wait to get above the white line here at 162. And then you can buy the retest, you can buy the breakout, or any sort of a bullish setup there. You will get on the daily. You can buy that. That's my take. Maersk, big shipping company. You can see here it broke out of this long-term golden trend line. It had a breakout here, retest again, and now we have tested it here again. So I think as long as we are above this one, the golden trend line, then any touches can be bought, but you need to have the stops below. There is an inverted head and shoulders here with a, let me show you, an roughly 9,000 Danish kroner move. So that's down here at the 10,050 level. Again, if you can get down here to the trend line close to this one, completing the inverted head and shoulders measured move, great buy in my view. It's a big company. So again, then we are also down more than 50%. And my ultimate target is this one here, which is the log scale move for the inverted head and shoulders. If we get there, that would be an absolute steal. I'm not saying that it will, but if it does, steal nonetheless. You can see that we got rejected at this white trend line here, coming across. There it is, right? A big down day, but down week actually. And again, we are below the 30 weekly. So I would think that we're going all the way down here actually before we start to see a bounce again. So that's my take on Maersk. Next company looks quite nice. I will delete these bad boys here. We are in a stage 2 uptrend. We had a breakout of this golden trend line coming down there, and now we probably do some sort of retest down to the 30 weekly, and then if it can confirm then and break out again, then we have the confirmed stage 2 uptrend in Nets, which is a IT company, I think. Information technology. Okay, so IT company. So yeah, looks good here. You can buy the retest. But yeah, it really looks like it wants to go into the stage 2 uptrend right here. After the downtrend, the basing breakout to stage 2. So yeah, that's that. Novo Nordisk is a major, it's a big medical company in the entire, for the entire world, basically. And to me, I just want to show you how massive the uptrend has been. Again, we are all the way up here. Again, that's not where I will be buying. This is only for, in my view, traders' paradise, right, to the upside. But still, long term, I don't say it will get there at all, but I would be buying again if we get a touch of this long-term support right here. So if and when we get it, I think we will, because that's how the markets usually reacts. But still think we will have some sort of touch here. How we will get there, I have no clue. Maybe we need to go all the way up before we go down, or we just keep going grinding down, into that trend line. Still, oops, quite easy, quite simple. Don't make it too complicated. Yeah, I would be buying this trend line big time. It's a major company. It has a lot of product within diabetes and so on. And in the world we live in, yeah, diabetes, So that's how I will be playing that one. Ørsted, major, it's a big Danish energy company. I will just be waiting for the breakout here and buy it. You can buy the breakout or you can buy it, whatever, but still we need to break out to the upside here first. Again, you can notice that we have a long-term golden trend line here. Again, that would be a perfect buy if we get all the way down here. I don't think we will, to be honest. I think we can start to see the internal squeezes coming along. So I think, we will get some bounces and then hopefully go higher. But still, long term, if you can get it down here at 350 roughly, big buy. Also, you have the second impulse, the first impulse, second. So you could argue that you need a massive drip, spill to the downside for the third big impulse low. Still quite different chart. It's doing nothing right now. It's below the 30 weekly. 2 big red candles. Not looking good. Pandora is a jewel company. Short term, it's trying to complete an inverted head and shoulders. You have the neckline there for a move to the all-time highs. Again, I would be buying a touch here if we can get it. Again, you need to have the stops right below, because if this one breaks, you are going a lot lower very quickly, actually. So you should have it here at some point. So there are some arguments for a shorter term bounce or a move down here and then you bounce up. But yeah, yet again, that's how I see this setup here. Royal Unibrew is a beverage company. It's quite simple. We are in a bull flag, which is quite nice, to be honest. But still, I would be waiting quite simply again for a touch here if we get it. I'm in no rush to buy a long-term stock. I need to have the best entry for and the best risk reward if I want to have a stock that I need to hold for like 5 to 10 years. Then I'm not rushing into anything. But for now, we're above the 30 weekly, which is moving up big time. If we break down here, then we will get the touch in my view. Otherwise, it's a bull flag. So short term, we can get some bounces here. That's for sure. But again, long term, which we are looking at in this video, you will probably buy it at around 500, roughly, more or less. Rock is I don't know exactly what they make. They make housing supplies, I guess, or materials, whatever. And to me, long term, very much a bearish chart. We have broken down. We are below this uptrend here. Whoops, that's very bad. Still, we are below this long-term trend line there in a bear flag. I will not be able to give you any good buy points here. Maybe, let me see if there is one there. You could argue a buy here, but still that's, I will not give any suggestions or any views here. As it's in a bear flag, looks like it wants to go lower. We will see. Sim had a big uptrend, as you can see right here, major. Now we have a breakdown, and what it now looks like is a bid on the stock here. You can see it quite easily, you know, the big up day week, and then we just sit around 730. Don't buy it, don't do anything. The bid is on, nothing to do. Tryg, which is an insurance company, which I'm very interested into because it pays a very nice dividend, 5%. I am looking to buy. This is this one right here is a copy, a clone of this one, as you can see. So that's where I'm looking at to buy. We had a big breakdown here the past month or so, right here, there, massive breakdown. Let's zoom in to see where we are. We're way below the 30 weekly, so I expect a bounce here, some sort of retrace, but ultimately I think we can go all the way down to around 100, maybe 90 for a massive purchase around here. We have horizontal supports and so on. So if we get there, that's where I'm going to add this one to my long-term dividend portfolio. And that's only like 25% away from here. So why not, right? Looks nice, and the entry is quite clear. Vestas makes windmills. This is a major move up from $5 kroners to 300. Wow. We are right now in this expanding formation, but ultimately at these levels, there is no way I'm buying this one. Even though if we can get a pop here long term, I think we need to me at least, a bigger correction before this one gets interesting. And yeah, I think we need to go down to just north of 100 for a buy of this one. You have it here, again here. And if we get down here to like 110, that's where you should be, in my view, looking at a buy if the overall market is still up to par. And yeah, that's roughly a 50% drop from here. So if we get that big buying opportunity, in my view, and we know we're never going down here again, never. So don't think you can buy that one. So yeah, that's my take on the Danish long-term stock market. So if you view this one like a month from now, it's still valid because it's the weekly, so it's a long-term 5-year, 10-year investment opportunity in my view. So yeah, hopefully you liked it. Again, this is the Danish one. So you probably don't know about it, but there are some opportunities in every sector, every market, every country. But now here you have it. So yeah, I hope you liked it. Leave the comments below, and as always, have a great day, and we will see you on to the next one. Bye, guys.